Hello, sports fans. Mikey Knobs here, answering all of your 2019 college football and NFL questions. Feel free to send those in to us. We'll get to them as soon as we can. We thank those listeners that have sent them in thus far. This question comes to us, and it's another good one. Who should be preseason favorite to win the 2019 college football national title? Well, the AP poll was recently announced, as well as the coaches poll, and Clemson is number one in both of those, I believe. We'll talk about the five of the best teams, and I'll give you my pick for who I think should be the preseason favorite. It might become a surprise to you. Let's start obviously with Clemson. Great program. Dabo Swinney, former Bama guy, just doing an outstanding job for the Clemson Tigers. He's truly built a dynasty. His recruiting is right up there, top 5 every year. He's just really built something special at Clemson, and that pains me to say it, as bad as they really kicked our butt last year in the championship game. They deserve to be the champions. But surprisingly, I don't think they should be the favorite. They lost a ton on defense. Numerous guys: Dexter Lawrence, Trayvon Mullen, Trey Lamar. They're all gone now. They're in the NFL. So, I mean, how are they going to just replace those guys? I mean, I don't think Clemson's quite to the point where they just automatically reload on defense like Alabama does. So I think, they're going to be in some shootouts, and I mean, I would definitely probably still rate them second or third, but I see no reason why they shouldn't make the playoffs. But I wouldn't consider them the preseason favorite. Let's talk about Oklahoma. We're gonna make it short and sweet. I like Oklahoma. Obviously, I love Jalen Hurts. Probably the best, one of the best young men to ever play college football as far as maturity level goes. How he handled that situation at Bama last year. But Oklahoma, love Jalen Hurts. I think he's dual threat. Obviously, he'll bring a lot to the table for Lincoln Riley. But Oklahoma simply not enough D, man. I mean, if you play in the Big 12. It's like arena football. I mean, there's no defense. It's ridiculous. If you're a gambling man like myself, you're looking at some of these totals posted for Big 12 games in the 80s, for goodness sake, 80s, and they're hitting them. They're going over the total. So Oklahoma, great team, but just not enough D to be considered the favorite, in my opinion. Ohio State, let's talk about it. Urban Oscar Mayer Wiener, finally retired. Thank God. Got somebody else in there. Ohio State, a good program, perennial top 5, top 10. I'm really interested to see how Justin Fields does, the transfer from Georgia. I think he can do big things in the Big Ten. But man, I just can't vote a Big Ten team number one. Can't do it. If you look historically, the Big Ten, they can't compete with the SEC. They just don't have the speed. They don't have the talent. They just look big and slow. It's like old man's football, big and slow. And their recruiting classes are good, each year, but not great. Not great in my opinion. All right, let's talk about Alabama, my school. Yeah, roll Tide, baby. Roll damn Tide. Would love to pick them. I mean, that would be my homer pick, but I'm trying to do this objectively. I can't pick Alabama this year, really for one reason. They've just lost too many daggum coaches, man. I mean, every year we're replacing coordinators and specialty coaches. We lost QB coach Dan Enos, and there's a funny story about that. Nick Saban showed up at practice and looked around and said, hey, where's Dan? And the poor guy, he didn't even know that Dan had left for another job. So, I mean, you just really saw that, I think, a little bit in that national title game. It's just so hard to keep replacing coordinators each year. That really messes with the cohesiveness of the teams. And so I can't pick Bama. So drum roll, please. My pick for the 2019 national title is, and it pains me to say it, it's an absolute travesty, but it's the Georgia Bulldogs, man. Kirby Smart, just an outstanding coach, and he's really Saban Jr. If you look at him, he's Little Nick. He really is. He wins with running the football and just an amazing defense. And I think Georgia's going all the way. They're finally going to get over the hump. If you look at even in that SEC title game, they were ahead the whole game. They were either tied or ahead the whole game until about a minute left when Jalen Hurts, brought the Tide back. If you look at the stats, Georgia actually outgained Alabama in that game, 453 to 403. They just shot themselves in the foot with a stupid fake punt there, which as a Tide fan, I was glad to see. But another factor is DeAndre Swift, just an absolute beast at running back. He's finally healthy this year. He was struggling with a little bit of a groin injury, hamstring, that really not a lot of people knew about. They kind of kept it hush-hush. And then we can't forget Jake from State Farm. What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis. That's right. The guy's steady. He's like Cool Hand Luke. He doesn't make mistakes, doesn't get you beat. And that's what it takes to win a championship, is just a steady QB that just won't beat you. So that's it. Georgia's my pick for the 2019 national title. It hurts me to say it. Roll Tide, and unfortunately, I have to say go Dogs.